It is officially official. Unrivaled is down bad for Caitlin Clark. And obviously everyone is a bit on bated breath if Caitlin Clark will be one of those people. But no one on bated breath more, it sounds like, than Nafisa Collier, Brianna Stewart, and every investor and person involved in Unrivaled.
The basketball world has been anxiously awaiting Caitlin Clark's announcement following months of circulating rumors and innumerable arguments about whether the Indiana Fever star and WNBA Rookie of the Year would make the historic move to surpass the upstart 3-on-3 league, which promised excitement, innovation, and a sizable salary. The wait is over, and the answer is clear.
So ESPN have essentially confirmed. They have confirmed that Caitlin Clark will not play in Unrivaled.
Fans and analysts alike have found clarity and reflection in Clark's decision to concentrate on her WNBA career rather than join Unrivaled. It wasn't just about one player, it was about the future of women's basketball. Could a star of Clark's caliber transform an up-and-coming league, or were her off-season priorities too important to interrupt? As Caitlin Clark breaks her silence, she's not just making a decision, she's making a statement about priorities. In this video, we'll delve into the drama, the decisions, and the impact of Caitlin Clark's choice. Before we break it down, please remember to subscribe to the channel. Are you ready? Let's go. Legacy and the evolution of her career. But what does her decision actually mean for the basketball world, and how did Unrivaled ambitious campaign and in one of the most talked about marketing missteps of the year play out?
She has decided not to do Unrivaled, even though Aaliyah Boston's doing it, Lexi Hull is doing it, Kate Martin is doing it, and despite all the rumors, and I'm sure the push that was put on her. But Clark has all the leverage in this situation, and I'm not saying she flexed it, but she was comfortable enough in her position to make the decision, and it appears that answer is no.
How does a league operate? Nobody who has ever played a game creates the kind of buzz that championship teams typically do. The solution was a full-court marketing press that made Caitlin Clark the face of Unrivaled before she ever agreed to join. From the time Unrivaled launched, fans couldn't help but notice the Easter eggs, and stories of Unrivaled offering Clark a messy deal worth more than $1 million for a week of play, along with equity and revenue shares in the league surfaced. They even signed her close friends and teammates, including Lexi Hull, Kate Martin, and Aya. Boston intensified rumors that Clark would arrive soon, even partnering with her longtime sponsor State Farm. Why would Unrivaled take such drastic measures when they were aware that the Caitlin Clark effect is real, as everyone in women's basketball knows? Prior to the roster announcement on November 20th, the league's unmatched hype machine was in full swing, promising that this would lay a significant foundation for the league's future.
Unrivaled did the funniest thing last night that got a lot of us hooked in. Let me explain what I'm talking about. So just last night, Unrivaled put out this letter.
The league had 2 open roster spots until the big reveal day, which only served to increase the excitement even more. The night before, they released a teaser that included a mysterious hint of a 22-minute roster announcement video, referencing Clark's jersey number.
At the very end, reminds you once again 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. Eastern Time. 11 a.m. to 11:22 a.m. is a very specific time frame and a very specific amount of minutes for a video to be 22 minutes. Obviously, we all know that Caitlin Clark is number 22, and that has been the person that has been the most anticipated person that people either want to see in Unrivaled or people are just waiting to see if she is going to do it or not.
Every tweet, teaser, and strategic leak seemed to shout Caitlin Clark was coming, but when the big day finally arrived, the 22-minute video left viewers perplexed, irritated, and still waiting for answers. Fans braced themselves for a headline-grabbing reveal. Fans swiftly took to social media to criticize what they perceived as a blatant bait and switch a clown show, and beyond frustration ratings were just a few of the responses saturating the timeline as the wild card spots remained empty and the name everyone was hoping for was nowhere to be found. Unrivaled had done everything to make Caitlin Clark the story except land the star herself. The league's reliance on ambiguous clues and meaningless tension made what ought to have been a successful day into a nightmare for public relations.
Tried to do everything they could to make the most of the situation. They tried to make the most of Caitlin Clark not playing by hinting everything and basically making people think that Caitlin Clark was going to play.
But there's no doubting that Unrivaled demonstrated that one thing: women's basketball has the ability to dominate headlines and spark debate by establishing an air of exclusivity and mystery. They attracted millions of viewers, and even if the payoff fell short of expectations, the league trying to establish itself may still succeed without its most marketable star. Or has this spectacle done more harm than good? If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We understand that watching this video takes up some of your time, and we appreciate it. Now, let's get back to the action.
Ask you a basketball question. I know that you work really hard in the off season. You said yesterday you're always trying to get better. What's the thing that you're working on in this off season?
I think, honestly, besides the actual basketball skill part of it, I think getting stronger, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm in the weight room a lot, just building that strength. Obviously, it was hard going right from the college season to the professional season. You don't get to spend a lot of time in the weight room, so that's what I've tried to focus on the most here. And then obviously, a lot of things on the court. I'm always wanting to get better, and that's kind of what drives me, and I love it. I love getting to do it, and I feel very fortunate that it's my job.
The basketball world finally received the answer it had been waiting for after weeks of growing rumors. Caitlin Clark would not be joining Unrivaled. The news, which ESPN confirmed hours after the league's highly anticipated roster announcement, sent shockwaves across the sports landscape. It was the definitive end to a flurry of rumors that had dominated conversations for weeks. Interestingly, Clark herself remained silent, making no statement posts on social media or participating in interviews. This lack of commentary only served to increase the impact of ESPN's report, as the silence stood in stark contrast to the commotion surrounding her name, allowing fans and analysts to speculate about the reasons behind her decision.
And unfortunately, for some, and fortunately if you just like Caitlin Clark playing, she's not going to be playing. But at least it means it's less likely she gets injured before the WNBA season.
It was a victory announcement for the Indiana Fever fans of Clark's decision to focus on her WNBA career celebrated on social media, expressing relief and optimism. One wrote, "This is exactly what we hoped for," expressing the confidence that Clark's continued presence brings to their team's future. Many expressed relief that this reduces the likelihood that Clark will sustain an injury prior to her sophomore season.
I know some of y'all were very happy that she's not doing Unrivaled, as, you know, to stick it to the people who treated her poorly.
However, after weeks of teasing Clark as a possible signing, Unrivaled is facing a public relations crisis as their absence from their original roster revealed the dangers of their heavy dependency on her name during the notorious 22-minute roster reveal. Fans were incensed by the Easter eggs that suggested Clark's involvement, and the league was criticized for overselling a possibility they apparently never had under control.
Released a 22-minute long video for no reason, and for some reason started it with a timer. So, yeah, there is a random timer for no reason. For absolutely no reason. There is a random timer now counting down for the first 2 minutes of this video.
Beyond the annoyance, though, the discussion shifted to Clark's justification. Some cited her demanding schedule, arguing that she had earned the right to take a break after going straight from her historic college season into an incredible rookie campaign. One admirer praised her for putting recovery and longevity ahead of immediate financial gain, saying that Clark's choice was a reflection of a deeper reality. While stepping away from Unrivaled spared her from additional demands, it also reinforced her status as a singular force in women's basketball. Her decision was not only personal, it was symbolic of her belief in the WNBA's potential to grow and evolve. The tremendous pressure placed on athletes who exist at the intersection of talent marketability and media scrutiny.
Basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast, and then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team and kind of move on and put all that behind me and help this team, get back to the playoffs. So I feel like taking some time to myself and really enjoying that and reflecting back.
What does this mean for Clark's journey with the Fever and the future of the WNBA, as Unrivaled may have missed its golden opportunity? And as the dust settled, the focus shifted to Unrivaled next steps. Could the league recover from the hype they couldn't deliver on? Clark showed that she understood the WNBA's expansion and her position as its cornerstone by remaining steadfastly focused on her role with the Indiana Fever.
Unrivaled just announced their rosters for this upcoming season while simultaneously pulling off the biggest troll in sports history.
Clark's rookie season did more than just boost her own profile. It completely changed how people saw women's basketball. From packed arenas to record-breaking attendance, her presence alone caused a seismic shift in how the league was perceived. In her first season, 21 broadcasts with Clark attracted over 1 million viewers each, which is unprecedented in the 27-year history of the WNBA. In fact, this outdrew many NBA games this season, but it wasn't just about television ratings. The Indiana Fever, a team that had previously struggled to fill seats, suddenly averaged over 177,000 fans per game, and rival teams even started booking larger venues just to accommodate the demand whenever Clark came to town. However, her influence went beyond the numbers and accolades. The Fever's home games became a spectacle, with attendance records broken game after game. Her record-setting assists weren't just numbers. They symbolized a new era of team-oriented basketball that was as entertaining as it was successful. Clark's selfless play style elevated those around her, transforming the Fever into legitimate playoff contenders for the first time in years. She had rekindled interest in women's basketball on a scale that many had only imagined.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the Fever rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good will come from that.
The question now is not only how Clark will influence the Fever, but also how she will keep changing the face of women's sports overall. With the year ahead, Clark's impact will only increase, but how much more can the Caitlin Clark effect last, and what does her presence mean for the WNBA's future as it attempts to build on this unprecedented momentum? Unmatched rose to prominence with the intention of revolutionizing women's basketball, but the league was left at a standstill after Caitlin Clark turned down their offer. Crossroads for Unmatched. The backlash exposed a more serious problem. Although the league boasts well-known WNBA players like Breanna Stewart and Nafisa Clyer, their reliance on one player to propel the league's debut by placing such a heavy emphasis on Clark inadvertently revealed a weakness in their roster-building strategy. The league's most marketable player's absence created an indisputable void. The league's future would depend on its capacity to captivate fans with dynamic gameplay and captivating matchups, even in the absence of Clark, according to analysts who questioned whether Unrivaled Vision could really thrive without her.
We'll see how Unrivaled does without Caitlin Clark. They could still succeed, but we know what it would have meant if they had secured her on one of those rosters.
However, Clark's choice was a declaration about priorities, rather than just a rejection of unparalleled. Her emphasis on recuperation also established a standard for athletes in the spotlight, inspiring others to put their health first. For Clark, the choice solidified her standing as a WNBA cornerstone. Her conviction that the WNBA could prosper with teamwork and commitment highlighted her dual roles as a leader and an ambassador for the sport as Unmatched charts a new path, and the WNBA's ongoing ascent. Clark's impact is very noticeable. She is redefining her legacy in addition to forming it. The story of women's basketball's potential on its own terms. Caitlin Clark's decision to stay away from Unrivaled was more than just a passing headline. It was a turning point in her already remarkable career. Although some saw it as a lost chance for the new league, it demonstrated her dedication to the WNBA and her long-term goals for the league. Caitlin Clark is at the forefront. Do you agree? Please let us know in the comments by turning on all notifications and subscribing so you don't miss anything. We'll see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen.